Hi everyone, I'm super excited to be here. Today we are diving into how to tackle high interest debt. A quick disclaimer, this content is for educational purposes only. It is not a financial advice, so always do your own research and before you make any important financial decisions. So the first step on your journey to wealth is to shift your mindset. You have to learn to control it. You have to direct it. You have to make your money work for you. You have to stop limiting yourself, in your thinking. Don't think that you don't have enough. Don't think that you can do this because it's not realistic. You can. I promise you, you can. True financial success starts with mastering your own thoughts, your habits, and your strategies around money. So today, even though I'll be talking about how to tackle high interest debt, first off, I would like to also mention that it's always good to start with doing a spending plan. By spending plan, I mean checking your expenses, especially your fixed expenses, have a look at what you are spending your income on, exactly what percentage is going on into your fixed expenses, what percentage is going into your wants, what percentage is going into savings and investments. Okay, so because when you have a good look at that, this will help you to know exactly where to cut down just to improve your savings or to improve your financial wealth. Okay, so generally it is advised that your fixed cost shouldn't be more than 60%. I mean, it should be within 50 to 60%. So if it is more than that, then you have to think twice. You have to check exactly what is taking more of your income. See if you can adjust. Let's say is your rent. Fixed cost would be your rent, or your rent or your mortgage, your groceries, your utility bills. Okay, they come under your fixed expenses. If you are having life insurance or health insurance, all of them comes under your fixed cost because these are your needs and you cannot do without them. So because if your rent is more than 30%, then truly you have to readjust. The gov.uk advises not more than, I think they said 30 to 35%. Please confirm that. But it's just a general advice. So if it's more than that, then maybe it's time to think of moving to a cheaper place. Yeah, it's a difficult decision to make, but it's one that is really, really necessary if you have to make if you really want to pay off that debt. Okay, or if you don't have any debt, let's say you want to start saving actively or you want to be more in control of your money, then you have to look into all of that. Have a look at your subscriptions too. Are there things that you are paying for and you are not actually using them? You cancel those subscriptions. Okay, so yeah, let's get into the real topic today. So first off, the question is, what is a high interest debt? High interest debt refers to any debt with an interest rate significantly above the market average. Yes, generally, anything that is more than 5% is considered high. However, you find that a lot of the financial products like credit cards, personal loan, car finance, you find that their interest rate, also known as APR, they are always high as 21% or 25%, even 28%. So when you are getting any financial product like this, you will have to be careful, at least not to miss payments. But if you're already owing them, don't worry, we will talk about how we can tackle those debts. Okay, if you are not owing or you don't have any debt to clear off, that is building up in its interest, then at least now you know what you should be looking out for. If you get any financial products that has this high interest rate as high as 20% or more, then try as much as possible not to miss any payment. Okay, if it is possible for you, pay whatever you should pay at the end of each month. I know that sometimes this could be very difficult for us to do. Every loan will have APR, so look out for it. APR means annual percentage rate, which is the total cost of borrowing money over a year. It includes interest and the fees. So you think of the APR as the true value or the true price of a loan or credit card. Okay, so when you are going to take a credit card loan, if it has a lower APR, it means you are paying less in extra cost. But if it has a higher APR, it means that your borrowing is very expensive. It makes the borrowing more expensive. Having a knowledge of what all of these things are will help you making a better financial decision, because now when you know exactly what APR is, it means that you are able to compare different loans and credit cards. Then this will help you to see which one is the best deal. Okay, it also helps you to make the decision of maybe I shouldn't be should I do this? Because now you are making an informed decision. You know what it implies if you do not pay. High interest debt is very harmful. It's very harmful to your finances. This is why. Because a big chunk of your monthly income goes towards paying high interest debt. So this will make you feel like you are in a never-ending cycle. So it's difficult for you to manage because the interest will keep accumulating, and this makes it harder for you to pay off. So now you understand why we say it's very difficult and costly to manage, because the principal, which is the amount or the money that you have loaned or you have borrowed, is accumulating interest. However, the interest is also accumulating more interest for you. So you see why it's so difficult for you to pay it off. High interest debt also hurts your credit score. We have been told that it's okay to use credit cards and all of that, but you have to know how to use it right for you to enjoy the benefits. How does it hurt your credit score? Now, if you are missing your payments and your balances are increasing, this means that your credit score will get low. Okay, and when your credit score is low, it definitely limits your financial future. Yes, a credit score that is low means that you will not be able to qualify for things like mortgages, car loans, or even better credit cards. So that is one thing you should look out for. Another thing that could cause you to have a low credit score is high utilization ratio. So high utilization ratio means that you are using a large portion of your available credits, which can negatively impact your credit score. Okay, I will give you an instance. Let's say that your credit card has £5,000 limit and you have spent £4,500 out of it. Now, it means that your utilization ratio is 4,500 divided by 5,000. And this will give you 90%. So it means that you are utilizing 90% of the credit that has been given to you. And this is quite high. Lenders will prefer you to have a utilization ratio below 30%. So let's assume if you think that you are using much, that you have a high utilization ratio, then the best thing for you to do is to apply for an increase in your credit limit. Because when they increase your credit limit, then you may be able to use that amount, and then it will still be under 30%. Okay, some people suggest 20%. A high utilization ratio would suggest to your lenders that you are relying too much on credit. So the lenders will now see you as a higher risk. Do you get that? So paying down your balance will help you boost your credit score over time. So how can we break free from high interest debt and take back control of our money? There are certain strategies that we can use. Some people have suggested the Avalanche Method, some have suggested the Snowball Method, some have suggested the use of a 0% credit card transfer, balance transfer. So we are going to explain all of this so that you will know which one suits you best. So when it comes to debt repayment, a well thought out strategy makes all the difference. The Avalanche Method suggests targeting the high interest debts first. Let's say you want to save the most money in the long run, then I will suggest you use the Avalanche Method. I mean, for me, it makes the most sense. But then remember that for someone to be owing that kind of interest debt, it means that they are really struggling with money. Otherwise, this is the best way to pay off your debt. So the Avalanche Method means that you are prioritizing paying off the debt with high interest rates first. So this approach will reduce the amount of interest you pay over time, and it will help you to get out of your debt fast. Actually, the Avalanche Method is suggesting that if you are paying off the debt that has high interest rate, it means that automatically you are escaping from your debt because you are reducing the interest that is accumulating on your loan or debt. I hope it makes sense now. Because let's say you are focusing on your smaller debts, then it means that the bigger debts are still accumulating. The interest will still be accumulating and is a huge one. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, please comment and I will try to explain it better to you. Now, the Snowball Method is actually you trying to focus on the smallest debts first. Okay, so what you do is, let's say you have different debts, ones that are high interest rate and the other ones are low interest rate. Then you can decide to focus on the smaller ones. So what this means is that it keeps you motivated, because now if you are focusing on your smaller debts or the debts that has more interest rate, it means that you are able to pay it off on time. Okay, so it gives you a psychological boost in that now you are taking it off. Oh, this is done and it's taken care of. It goes out of the way, so it keeps coming down, just like that gradually, and then you tackle the biggest debts in the end. So yeah, for some people it's the best method. It keeps you motivated to keep paying off, but for the other one you may give up, because as you are paying off you may not really be seeing the effects immediately, and then you may lose hope. Another thing that you could consider is a 0% balance transfer credit card. Okay, now if you have good credit, you might qualify for a 0% balance transfer credit card. So this basically allows you to move high interest credit card debts to a new card with 0% interest rate. Did you hear that? With 0% interest rate. It buys you time. It buys you time to be able to pay off your debt without accumulating more interest. So I will warn you though, make sure you take note of the time frame or the promotional period, okay? So that you will try as much as possible to work around it, so that you see if you are able to pay off the debt within that period that they have given you. So another thing I would like to mention is this: do not ignore your debt. Yes, a lot of people do ignore their debt. They don't even want to look at it because you think it's going to keep you depressed. I understand, but please don't ignore it, okay? If you are going through a whole lot in your life, if you are struggling to make payments, you can always reach out to your lenders. Yes, they are human beings. They do understand our situations, okay? They may be willing to reduce your interest rate. They may be willing to pause your payments. They may even be willing to create a repayment plan for you. But if you don't tell them, they won't know. So as much as possible, tell them on time. Explain your situation to them. Because sometimes, challenges of life could cause you to not be able to pay back whatever it is. Let's say you lose a job or you got sick and you are not able to, do work as much as you used to. So in such situations, tell them exactly your situation and ask if they could help. And then you will be surprised that they will be able to help you. Another thing is for you to maybe look out for some charities that offer financial advice or extra support for free. Okay. Let's say that we have finished paying off our debt. The next step is to start our savings. But I would like to mention this because I don't think it's actually quite realistic for us to finish paying off the high interest debt before we start savings. Yes, I understand. I say this because as you are paying off high interest debts, remember, life is still happening. Your car could break down. An emergency could happen, and then let's say it's health emergency and you have to, let's say you are in a place where you pay for, hospital bills and all of that. Certain things could happen and you will still need money. And then what do you do at this point? Would you now stop paying off the debt and then focus on all these ones? So I would like us to do it in such a way that we are able to be paying off this debt and also be saving up something for our emergency fund, okay? So we can do something like that. So it's about planning the percentage of money that is going into our fixed cost, the percentage that will be going into the paying off the debt, the percentage that will be going into taking care of any form of emergencies. So we can do this, believe me. At this point, you may have to sacrifice certain things. Yeah, you may have to make some sacrifices because you will truly have to cut down on your expenses or your wants. So it will be very necessary for you to do that. So once you've got your debt under control, it's time for you to focus on building an emergency fund so you don't fall back into debt whenever unexpected expenses arise. Stay tuned for step 2, which is creating a financial safety net, aka emergency fund. Remember, paying off high interest debt isn't just about numbers. No, it's not about numbers. It's definitely not about numbers. It's about regaining your financial freedom. Stay committed and you will see progress before you know it. I'm going to share with you some of the apps that I use to help me save effortlessly. But I won't say that in this video because then it's going to make the video a very long one. So when we talk about the savings in the next step, I'm going to tell you a bit about all of that. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you in the next video.